Welcome to the Secrets of Professional Gamblers tutorial series. This is tutorial 9, Scalping, Hedging and Trading Sports Betting Markets. Okay, so a few words of introduction. I'm a professional engineer, and while at university I was looking for a way to make a few extra dollars that wouldn't interrupt my studies. I had a TAB in my place, which is basically a government-approved agent for horse, greyhound and harness racing, and I decided to check it out. I knew nothing about betting at first, so I put a lot of research into it and ended up knowing quite a lot about the subject. I soon realised to be good at this activity, I would have to go about it professionally. And for a start, I wouldn't be betting at the TAB because of the totalisable system they used. I also wouldn't bet at a casino because of the automatic loss built into every game. In fact, the only betting I found that could be exploited for profit was sports betting, including horse racing, as long as I had access to fixed odds. I found that investing in sports markets shared a lot with traditional investing, which not only allowed me to bet profitably, but also led me to create a number of unique betting products, which you can find on eBay. Just search for me, Matt's Games, and have a look at Wildfire Pro Keno and Wildfire Pro Lotto. My latest product is Wildfire Pro Sports Bet, and I'll be using it throughout this series, and if you're interested, you can get your own copy at the link below in the comments. I like to put a disclaimer ahead of all my videos because I'm not encouraging people to waste their money on cheap thrills. I believe the main rules of gambling professionally are these. Don't risk more money than you can afford to lose, set a limit and stick to it. If you are going to gamble long term and professionally, set aside a bankroll for betting purposes, don't use it for anything else and manage it carefully. Betting is easy when all goes well, but if you find you begin to stress after a number of losses, betting gets reckless and you stop managing your money, perhaps it's time to look for another hobby. Stop gambling, you're not suited to this activity. In the last video, we discussed guaranteed profits using sports arbitrage. We now know that when we arb, or arbitrage bet, we place wagers on both sides of the bet as quickly as possible to lock in our profit. Scalping and hedging are similar types of bets, except that we place both wagers on at different times. When we scalp, we make a wager on one selection, then we wait for the price to move in such a way as to allow us to lay the same selection later when a small target profit is assured. We first watch the trend of the selection's price, then back or lay a wager based on the trend direction. We then wait for the odds to drift further until the opposite bet shows a target profit, which we then take. Hedging means that we are protecting a bet that was originally a win bet only, but looks as if we may lose. If our bet is headed for a loss, we can hedge our bet and reduce the loss we are probably facing. The appeal of this type of betting is the fact that it can be done at one betting site. While backbet only scalping or hedging is possible using both sides of a two-sided event, it is best to scalp or hedge at a betting exchange where lay bets are available. Lay betting allows us to scalp on both the up and down trending price movements of a single selection. Lay bets offer us better betting options and more opportunities to profit. Hedging is not a profit-making strategy, but scalping is. In fact, some professional bettors choose to specialise in scalping. Regular, low-risk profits is exactly what the pro bettor is looking for in a bet. In fact, it is so popular, some people pursue it on a large scale using specialised software. This is known as bet trading. Betting this way can be more stressful than all the other betting strategies we have considered up till now, but it is also quite exciting. It requires discipline to pull off effectively because making mistakes is not uncommon, even for the seasoned professional. Mistakes can lead to lower profits or greater losses than expected. Scalping using backbets only requires one side of a two-event market to be bet already, in anticipation of the other side's odds drifting up in value over time. The betting calculator you need for this will indicate what amount to wager for the second bet if you want to profit evenly, regardless of which side eventually wins. Alternatively, you can bias towards the original bet to maximise its profits by using the second bet as a saver
or bias the second bet to maximise its profits and use the original bet as the saver. Internet calculators can be found to do this, but do not include the betting exchange commission in their calculations. As our profit, not our return, is important to us, Internet calculators do not provide the planning information that we need. Not only that, if the calculated returns show a small profit, which often they do, without taking the commission into account, the resulting profit will actually be a loss due to the commission paid. This backbet hedging worksheet is part of Wildfire Pro Sportsbet. The first calculator shows our original backbet market, indicating a loss. We predict the favourite will drift upwards in price. If we are right, the second calculator shows our expected profit, both even and biased. The greyed out numbers are the calculated values before rounding. The advantage of having access to a betting exchange is that we can bet to profit on just one selection. We do not have to limit ourselves to a two-event market, as is required with backbet-only scalping. We can just as easily look for a runner in a horse race that is rapidly changing in price, and then back or lay it in such a way as to exploit its future price drift. We need to calculate our bets taking into account the betting exchange commission, which internet calculators that I have found do not do. The main rule of back or lay scalping is this. If we expect the back odds of our selection to drift downwards, we back first. Else, if we expect the back odds of our selection to drift upwards, we lay first. This backbet back-lay hedging worksheet is part of Wildfire Pro Sportsbet. Once again, the exact calculated numbers are greyed out. They are included because we may be interested in the exact wages we need and the results they would produce. Also note this example is for equal profit. We can also wager to bias either side if we want to. The first calculator shows our original backbet in a downtrending market, with the lay bet calculated for us when we get the odds we are after. The second calculator shows our original lay bet market in an uptrending market, with the matched backbet calculated when obtained. So far, we have learned two methods of scalping or hedging our bets. In an uptrending market, we can use both back-back bets and lay-back bets. In a downtrending market, we must use back-lay bets only. We should understand by now that if we want to bet one side of a two-event market to win, we have two choices. We can either back our chosen selection to win or lay the other side to lose. One technique most people don't use is testing the return of both the back and lay bets to see which side will return the most when targeting a set spend, or lose the least when targeting a set profit. Wildfire Pro Sportsbet has a worksheet that will do these calculations for you. When either a back or lay bet coincides with the trend you are hoping for, you can be sure that you are squeezing the most value you can from your bets. This is the best value bet worksheet from Wildfire Pro Sportsbet. In it we enter our target, the commission rate, and current prices for selections A and B. The worksheet works out the best bet to take depending on our target spend or target profit strategy. The figures in green show either the best profit bet for a target spend or the lowest loss bet for a target profit. They are based on the final return of a back on our selection and a lay bet on the other side. Finally, the wager required to achieve the best bet is highlighted in red. What is the impact of a dollar? I decided to analyse this question in regards to starting price and price variation. In the table on this slide, I dropped the odds by $1 starting from $10 and then $7 and analysed the impact on potential profits. The conclusion from these figures are a drop of $1 in the price has more impact on the total profit when the original price is lower. Also, the profit total initially increases rapidly but drops off for each dollar drop in price. The change in the profit on turnover is higher when the original price is lower, and the change in the profit on turnover also increases as the variation in price gets larger.
Continuing my analysis to the obvious conclusion, I analysed the same idea for an upward trending market. In the table on this slide, I increased the odds by $1, starting at $5 and $2, and analysed the impact on potential profits. The conclusions from these figures are: an increase of $1 has more impact on profit when the original lay price is lower. The change in profit drops off for each $1 increase in price. Also, the profit on turnover is higher with the lower price. The change in profit on turnover drops rapidly as the price variation increases. It also drops quicker when the original bet is lower, although starts out much higher. When searching for potentially profitable backlay scalping bets, it's useful to keep these facts in mind. Regardless of the trend direction, the lower the price of the original bet, the better your potential profit will be. Downtrending selections will need to be higher priced so they can have room to drop. Variations in low price selections will require less change to increase profits. Significant price variation at lower prices means quicker profits, but also potentially quicker losses if the trend goes against you. Drift can be slow in a two-event market. Large drifts are often found in horse races over a short period of time. Upward trending markets obtain large profits quickly before dropping off. The rate of profit of a downward trending market increases the more the price drops. It's important for a beginner to watch a lot of sporting markets over time to get a feel for price variations. This can be done by watching a specific market at a betting site or by using sites designed specifically to report market changes. There are 4 listed on this slide. Another way to watch prices is to download any of the sports trading software platforms and take advantage of the free trial period they all have. Use their graphs to watch the price variation of a selection over time. Take particular notice of the type of market, starting price, and total change. Also take note of how often the trend changes and try to determine why it happened. Sports bet trading is basically scalping on steroids. With the aid of specialised software, the professional bettor can bet on sports markets as if they were share or currency markets, complete with charts, stop losses, and all the other features inherent to traditional investing. Trading sports markets is hectic and takes a special kind of gambler. While the potential to profit escalates as you bet on multiple markets at once, so does the potential to make mistakes and multiply your losses as well. If you would like to see a sports trading pro at work, go to the link on this slide. This gives you a good idea of what to expect so you can assess if sports trading is for you. The slide also lists some of the best trading software platforms currently available. While scalping is controlled but hardly safe, it is nothing compared to spread betting, which is a very speculative form of betting that is also available in traditional investment markets. Basically, the operator, or bookmaker, sets an expected result for a match or event, and you bet that the result will be higher or lower than the value given. If you bet for a value above the set value, the higher the difference, the higher your return. Unfortunately, the reverse is also true. The more you fall short of expectations, then the more you lose. As spread betting is a highly speculative form of gambling, it won't be considered at any length in this tutorial series. I consider it the domain of the mug punter, but if some people are good at it, more power to them. You can read more about spread betting at the links on the slide.